We are live. Sorry about not doing this, but what is up, people and future people? We have a lot to get into today. If you know something, hang on. Let's see. Bit better. I will have to deal with it. How's it going? We're gonna wait a couple minutes, let some people get in. Did I forget to post this? Yes, I did. Let me just do something quickly. I'm gonna post it in the Discord servers just so we can get some, because it's a good way to gain some traction. And I am really tired. I could not sleep last night. Slept most of the morning and into the afternoon. But I'm here. And depending on how I feel later, I might go live later. Might do a gaming stream. You never know. Hang on. Let's see. So, got a lot to cover, actually. We got 3 big stories. Unfortunate passing of a celebrity. So we're gonna give it till 5 and let us cover our first topic, which is Arizona. Let me get it. Maybe it's Twitter. Because Arizona, if you know the last 2 elections, but I think first So Ray Stevenson, who I think I'll first get to this, just get out of the way because I am so off today. Ray Stevenson, actor and Punisher, Warzone, RR, and horror films, dies at 58. So young, actually. Very young, very unfortunate. But we see a lot of people, unfortunately, dropping dead these days for one reason or the other. Thought I'd want to get that out of the way before we cover our first topic. But let's get to this. So this is Justin, GOP Senate Majority Leader Sonny Borelli apparently thinks he can bluff Arizona's counties and SOS into not using electronic voting machine based on legislative and resolution that does not have the force of the law. Or maybe it's just for show. This is obviously a leftist or dissent talking. You can tell by the bias. Because from what I've seen from my sources is that this can happen. And right here you see let's actually get Carrie Lake. This is Carrie. This is actually from where is it? It must have been the Arizona is the tip of the spear. Voting machines will no longer. Can you hear? Let me actually check. Okay, I think you can. Is that better? Yeah, that looks better. Just wanted to check my headset because that's been a problem. But anyway, so and Carrie Lake, God bless her. Please go follow Carrie Lake on Twitter. So Arizona is the real tip of the spear. Voting machines will no longer be allowed in Arizona. As of this morning, all 15 counties in Arizona received a letter from Senator Borelli informing them that they cannot use these machines in the upcoming 2024 presidential election. The legislature has plenary power over federal elections according to the U.S. Constitution, and every state must follow. Let me actually see. Hang on. Let me actually see because we all know the great Razor. He's out of errors. If he's talked anything about this. If I can find. I'm not sure if he's talked about it yet. Because I know Razor Fist is from Arizona. I guess maybe later on people can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is really important that we do this, that we get rid of, because these machines not safe. I don't care what people say. People are like, no, they're safe and secure. You're just buying into lies of the GOP. You're buying into lies and pieces. No, we're not. How do Democrats can we get all these ballots that come in all in favor of them? We saw in last election, we saw in 2020, even in 2018. That's where it really began. 2018. We should have stopped it there. And so conveniently, we stopped in Florida with DeSantis. How'd that turn out? Well, DeSantis looks like he's gonna zap Trump back, but that's for the later story. That's for the later story. Right now, it's more of election. Let's bring up all these in. I'm surprised Razorfist has not tweeted. Yeah, but it does seem like, because it seemed like something he would be knowledgeable about, given his vast knowledge of history and the law. Because I am convinced that when it comes down to it, these machines will be removed, and the bill passed by the Arizona legislature will be held up if it goes to court, because it's a states' rights issue. And states definitely have, and they should have, more power over what goes on in their affair than the bureaucrats in DC. The people of Arizona, the legislature of Arizona, should have more of a say in their affairs, and this applies to every state. All 50 states, well, really 48. I don't like to count California and Illinois, but that's another topic for another day. And let's be honest, Kay Hobbs did not win. Carrie Lake won. Carrie Lake, America First. She's the future. We all thought Ron DeSantis was. It's going to be Carrie Lake who's the future. Carrie Lake is 100% the future of the Make America Great Again movement. And I'm just going to do some checking. And I think that this should set a precedent. We need to get rid of all those machines. Go back to single day paper ballot. The only exception is if you are not going to be in your home district that day, then you can mail in. Other than that, if you're too lazy to get up, then don't go. Either go to the polls and vote or just stay home and don't vote. I'm tired of making these accommodations like, oh, you need to make accommodations. And for these people, no. When it comes to voting, it needs to be a national holiday. There will be no election. And we're going to have to fight tooth and nail in this 2024 to try and overcome the fraud we know. Oh, so we're going to need to try and split the vote, the Democrat vote, in order to get Trump back in. When Trump's in, he's got to. That's one thing we got to prioritize as well. Getting our elections fixed. So in the future, when it looks like when we have elections, we're not going to be in this scenario where it takes days, because that's partially one of the reasons for COVID. It's not the main reason. We all know the main reason. It was control. It just so happened that the year they released COVID happened to be election year, and they were successful in taking out Trump, I hate to say, as president. But they haven't taken out his influence. He is still very influential. And he's on track to secure the nomination. And but Arizona should set a precedent. There's Maricopa, where most of the shenanigans happened in 2020 and 2022. That's where what needs to be cleaned up. Little Bill Gates. There's Big Bill Gates and Little Bill Gates. Little Bill Gates from Maricopa should not be in his position. He has mismanaged this entirely. We also need to be peacefully protesting. I don't care what you say. We need to peacefully protest. They try to scare us with the Jan 6 stuff. We can't let it scare us. We gotta be peaceful. That's all I have to say. I don't want any violence. No violence. If your intention is to cause chaos and violence, do not go to any events in the future, because there are no events currently that I'm aware of. And it's not like I would be going to any of them right now. So Yeah, I'm so off. But let's actually, I think right now would be good time to switch to our next story. So, a couple months ago, Tim Scott did this whole thing where it was pretty much an announcement. He pretty much announced, but this is more of an official one. So, did it again. Let's see.
And that's why I'm announcing today. I'm announcing today. And that's why I'm announcing today that I'm running for president of the United States of America.
Say what you want. He's got charisma. He's got enthusiasm. But he's not going to win. We're going back Trump and look at this from Alec Bershwitz. Vivek Ramaswamy is surprising a lot of people. A few months ago, he was at 0 and DeSantis was in the 30s. Now, Vivek is at 6%. DeSantis is in the mid-teen. Vivek also has a lot of money to spend. Now, Tim Scott is in the mid, and more announcing soon. It's fun watching the
Radical left are attacking.
he has a lot of charisma, but he's not going to win. However, this is actually from Trump. This makes me think Trump wants cut a back deal with Tim Scott and want him to run, and he might get if Tim Scott possible position in his administration. Just a theory. You see Vivek, and you haven't seen Vivek really attack Trump, actually. I think there's some. I remember in 2016, a lot of those 2016 candidates, including Ben Carson, who Trump viciously attacked, Trump gave a position to the great Ben Carson. Now, is something like that going to happen? Don't know. Although I do think Ben Carson's more qualified than Tim Scott to be in a position. And Ben Carson just seems like a more down-to-earth and relatable guy. I could be wrong. You can let me know, either ratio me on Twitter all you want. That's just my take. So this is Trump. So good luck to Senator Tim Scott in entering the Republican presidential primary race. Is rapidly loading up with lots of people, and Tim is a big step up from Ron DeSantis, who's totally unelectable. I got the opportunity, so I'm done with him. A big deal that has highly been successful. Good luck, Tim. That was me ringing in my best Trump voice. But I remember how I brought up earlier. I brought up splitting the vote. So here's how this works. All these candidates running in 2024, DeSantis is already thinking this is going to pull a lot away, and this is kind of why I kind of want RFK Jr. to continue to run and may not be vice president, but I also kind of want him to be, I don't know. So what, and this is actually how Lincoln got elected in 1860 because the Democrats were divided. Unfortunately, now the Democrats are very unified and the Republicans. However, I do think that is possible that, and we got to get through the primary, but what we need to do is divide the Rhino vote in the primaries. And that looks like it's already happening. And the reason why I said Trump probably encouraging a lot of these people to run is because he knows it's going to chip away at any fraud by the rhinos in the primaries. I mean, the more people you bring in, and I think Trump was already going to win it. And it's like this is going to just accelerate it. Now, what happened with the Democrats? That's going to be a tough one because we're hearing rumors that Big Mike might be running. We're hearing those. That's what I'm. It's getting crazy. I think this Tim Scott deal is a big. Tim Scott running is a big deal. It's going to just chip away at this Antis's already diminishing poll numbers, already diminishing lead, but I wouldn't recommend voting for Tim Scott for several reasons. And one of the reasons is he's kind of rhino-ish. Yeah. And I mean, here's actually, let me get something up. Tim Scott is not 57, never married, no children. Not to be harsh, but that's simply disqualifying. There was one president who wasn't married with children. I forgot who it was. I'm gonna look it up right now because it was James Buchanan. Just checking things. Obviously, there's that. Hang on. Just checking around because it's been a slow day. Let's. So Tim Scott's. I don't think he's got a real chance. And certainly the next person we're talking about, Mr. Sanctimonious, Mr. Snake himself. Ron. Hang on. Let me find a clip I can download. Hang on, let me get what's up. Boy. There are actually people who are taking my tune door. God. Looks like somebody, he's really in pain because. Oh. Oh. Somebody's got to create an edit. All right. Not here.
How much is that worth?
God, that is one of the most awkward laughs. And there are people who are simping. The simps, they're called. Just checking. Apparently, A. Murphy was. So apparently DeSantis is supposed to announce sometime this week his run. I mean, the actual end of career. He's going. World. Mapping. If Ron DeSantis actually gets that giant announcement bump in the polls, as the Sims say he will, I will become an AOC stand for 3 days. Ugh. I mean, DeSantis is part of the established. I don't. That whole thing with Disney, I don't think that was legitimate. I think that was all they put up. I think it was Kabuki Theater, the DeSantis Disney feud personally. And Iger did whoop DeSantis right in the eye. I do not think he's this. I'm sorry, gonna can go mental when Trump wins the nomination. They're like, people are like, oh, I'm so excited for DeSantis. He's going to be someone new, fresh, and can win. DeSantis, however, isn't. Oh, so this is from Laura Loomer. She's actually, her and Roger Stone have been making great analogies. For the last 20 minutes straight, the insufferable women on Fox News have been crying about the fact this political article written about Jill DeSantis by Michael Kirsch. They are the only so-called critics of an honest article about modern Lady Macbeth. I love it. She called because many people are calling in Jill DeSantis, or it's Jill Casey DeSantis. Lady Macbeth. I think a lot of people are also comparing her to the Hildebeest. That's really hilarious. Who? It's not Bill. It's Hillary who's doing most of it. So, John Sandor from on Twitter, he actually, let me share screen. I think that's how you pronounce it, John Sandor. I could be wrong. According to Real Clear Politics, DeSantis drops to below 20%. No official announcement is going to change this. In fact, it will get a lot worse for Ron DeSantis once he officially announced his ill-advised rush for the presidency. He is really not doing well, DeSantis. And the polls are really showing. Hang on, let's actually see what our boy MAGA Catholic stuffer and troll of the Simps. Been wanting to get him on. Hasn't actually applied to a lot of wives recently. Oh, hang on a second. All right. Not sure how long I'm going to be here for. Let's see. Because Ron DeSantis is there's no DeSantis should have just stepped aside and let Trump run. I'm gonna continue. That's actually something I'm gonna cover actually in a bit. I just want to get this DeSantis story right. But unfortunately it doesn't. The sanctimonious. Hang on, this is good. So here a Trump statement put out recently. Trump destroying, and there's this soy, the simp, who's like, Trump has lost 3 elections and is on his way to lose a 4th. Not to talk about all of his high-profile endorsements in the midterms. Then this sworn Trump won in 2016. What a beta male. This is probably a beta male. An absolute. Team Sandy. You mean Team Beta? Well, loser. Absolute loser. See. And I think that should actually. Hang on. Let me get. Let's get up. So this is some Russia-Ukraine news. Bakhmut has fallen. Chasavar is next. Commander Zaluzhny is in critical condition. The spring offensive has not been. There's been probing attacks. Nothing really. Ukraine has lost a staggering amount of men. Zelensky is panhandling around Western Europe. Bad week to be Ukraine. Ukraine is the least free place in all of Europe. No wonder why Joe Biden likes it. Bakhmut was taken by a restaurateur and some convicts against an army trained supplied by the US and NATO. Yeah, Bakhmut has. Hold on.
Здавати Бахмут ніхто не буде.
Yeah. Aged poorly. Bakhmut is. Let's actually pull this up. The Russians just finished liberating Bakhmut the same way. This is a response. This is what when a government says liberate, this is what they mean. And this is Bakhmut after total. If it was a modern Stalingrad, Mariupol, Bakhmut, this is going to be a deadly war. Or to continue on. The worst wars in history, and let's get some more. I don't think I can show this one. What the heck is he? Is this guy crazy? Guy literally shot a bazooka in the hallway. The dude. The Wagner private milk company. I know there's been drama between the Wagner leadership and also the Russian High Command. Sirovikin. Forgot what the name of the. Hang on, Evgeny Prigozhin and Surovikin. There's been drama, and look at that. Battle of Bakhmut is over. Is one of the longest battles of the 21st century to date, and certainly the bloodiest. I'd say Aleppo from the Syrian civil war might have been deadlier and longer, but I don't know. One sec. Yeah? Hey. It's my mom. This was one, and let me actually get this up. So Aleppo was longer. So Aleppo was much deadlier than Bakhmut. That doesn't take away from everything that had to happen. And look at you see Wagner and Russian flags being. This is a huge defeat for the West because the Russians have captured very important. Doesn't matter how the West is going to try and play off. Oh, it was nothing. It was important. Ukraine did not want to lose it. Zelensky didn't want to lose it. They're now denying it because they know that was their gamble, and it has failed. Bakhmut was vital for the Ukrainian. And let's just also hope Gonzalo Lira. Let's pray for Gonzalo Lira. Because he's also missing. He was captured by the SVU. Really, yeah. So apparently, Bakhmut is the Ukrainian, Artemovsk is the Russian. For a while I thought it was the other way around. Oh, this is hilarious. Baz Devushka. Somebody photoshopped Pergosian with the Russian flag there. What an actual. And man, what a disappointing Maloney has turned out to be foreign policy wise. There's Biden just hiding. He looks like he's about to sniff this guy. Is that Schultz? Is that Olaf Schultz? He looks like he's about to. This is so much is going on here. Let's actually see. Yeah, a private military company, not an official army, a private military company with convicts and a restaurateur as its head defeat a U.S. backed army. Kind of reminds me of the U.S. itself, how we beat the British Empire, bunch of farmers, uh, the Vietnamese, bunch of farmers and peasants beat the U.S. in Vietnam. the great resolve of the Soviet people in World War II, all the Yugoslav partisans in World War II will go down as well. So usually I would bring on Zelensky, but you might not be seeing him for he's coping in the best way he knows how to cope. Snoring cocaine just to forget about the fact that he's lost his most vital city and sacrificed a good chunk of the Ukrainian military to do so. I'm not sure if I can show this. I don't think I can show that on YouTube. I expect those neighboring towns that the Russians are going to start moving to fall quicker than Bakhmut. I think they'll fall quicker. I think the Ukrainian army, there's just going to be this massive spearhead, which is going to create a wedge, and the Ukrainian army is just going to collapse. That's my prediction. And we are at the hour mark. I'm going to go for a couple more minutes. Yeah, actually, let's see. This is from Spritter on Twitter. Interesting fact. Bakhmut, Artemovsk was taken the same day as Mariupol, historical date, and also the same day Zelensky was inaugurated president of Ukraine, I believe in 2019.
Круто! Круто, укропы! Укронацисты! Говорю вам всем, хвалите-ка вы нахуй! Парни, устанавливаю.
This is a true disaster for the West. With a whole bunch of washing machine shovels, yeah. Let's actually get this one up as well. By Liz Truss. So after Russian forces take control of Artemovsk, Donetsk Republic, ex-Ukraine, Deputy Chairman of Russian Security Council Medvedev, so Dmitry Medvedev, the former Russian president, he replied to Elon Musk, who asked how it's going in Artemovsk in October 2022 and invites him to see himself. Yeah, it's going. How does it? So he said, "Bye bye, Liz Truss. Congratulations to Les." Because former Prime Minister Liz Truss, her tenure as Prime Minister was outbeaten by lettuce. There was a thing to see if lettuce could, how long it would take to less to go bad, and it takes less longer to go bad than I forgot. I'm not sure how. The lettuce lasted longer than Liz Truss. So then Elon replied, "By the way, how's it going in Bakhmut?" Then Medvedev recently replied, "Elon Musk, you've asked me about Bakhmut. Come and see for yourself." That's awesome. It's trolling. Now, what was I going to say before? Because I know I was going to say something. And the Western media is still going to try and move the goalposts because they do not want any bad news coming out. They just lost a really important city. So he's in Hiroshima, Japan.
Bakhmut is a discussion about whether or not it's been lost or whatever.
He has this microphone, but he uses this one. He is such a mess.
Well, the truth of
this guy, you are such a mess, Joe Biden.
the matter is the Russians have suffered over 100,000 casualties in Bakhmut. It's hard to make up. It's hard to make up. So whether or not there are troops in Bakhmut occupying, there's not many buildings left standing in Bakhmut. It's a pretty devastated city. But they have been able.
Welcome to war, Joe Biden. That's what happens in war, especially urban fighting. If we're talking in the context of Bakhmut, cities are flattened. Look at what happened to Stalingrad, Leningrad. Look at London. And you're in Hiroshima. Hiroshima was flattened by the atomic bomb. That's what happens in war. I would say get through your thick skull, but there's really nothing left there. Your brain's shriveled up, so tiny, probably doesn't register on any scale. Honestly, your brain probably looks so raw now, you'd think that somebody did surgery on Biden and insert a potato, and Biden's now just a failed experiment out of aperture science.
Able to move in a direction that they've been able to lock down an awful lot of the Russian forces.
Aperture Joe.
Including the Wagner group. So with regard to the F-16s would not have helped in that regard at all.
So
it was unnecessary. For example, let's take just Bakhmut, for example.
So he admits it. Those F-16 would do nothing against Russia's Su-57s. They would get annihilated by the Sus. it would not be a fair fight. And you know, I kind of want to now run a simulation. Oh, hello? Yeah, I think I'm going to. Just end it here. We've gone for over an hour, so you know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, helps the algorithm. Share this, and we will see you later. Bye-bye, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.